What's up, you guys? Main man Phi here. No, I'm playing. Namco dropped the Kazuya trailer super late last night, out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting it. A bunch of people are rushing out reaction videos and things like that. Obviously, I'm jumping on that too. This is the content game. We got to get on it. But when I was watching it, there were 4 key moments that made this trailer different from all of the other ones we've seen. So I want to cover those really quick. So OGs, everybody gather around. This is the big moment we've been waiting for since the first announcement, okay? Keep your eyes peeled. This happens really quickly. Did you catch that? I know that was a little quick. Let me run it back. Jin does a forward 3. I'm going to go frame by frame. Jin does a forward 3. Kazuya sidesteps it to the right. We have confirmation that this is a 3D game. Now, if we're getting technical, we do actually already see this in the Nina trailer. You'll see right here. After she shoots Lars in the face, he's going to do a move. She's going to do a mini sidestep to the right. But I didn't count this specifically. It wasn't too convincing for me because, as you know, in Tekken 7, sidestep moves sometimes have way more evasion than the normal sidestep. So if you look at when Nina does the attack here, she's already doing the sidestep attack, right? Right about here when the hitbox is coming out. So you could see that that could have added some evasion. So I wasn't too excited when I saw that. But when I saw Kazuya do the sidestep right, now keep an eye on this, it's a clean sidestep right through here. Right? He finishes the sidestep, and then he starts doing his attack. So I was pretty convinced in this sense that sidestepping looks pretty robust. That was a really exciting moment for me. All right, here's the next new thing the trailer shows. So Kazuya lands a while standing 2, down forward 1, 2, and you see a re-wall splat. All right, let's watch that again. Now, in Tekken Tag 2, when you wall splatted somebody, you could use your combo extender. You could bound them and they'd bounce into the ground. But in Tekken 7, because of the tailspin effect, you don't really get that. If you splatted them on the wall, the tailspin doesn't re-splat them. So clearly, Tekken 8 is trying to give us an effect of the older games, Tekken 6 and Tag 2. After the launcher and the first wall splat, you can continue to extend the combo. Here's the extender, and it re-splats again. That would not have happened in Tekken 7. Usually they would have just fallen off the wall, and you would have lost your combo. So that's a cool change. And now the topic everybody loves to hate to love. I don't exactly hate the heat system. I'm actually kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be really fun to attack with. But we've got new data, which is really exciting to see. It shows a bit more of what options you might have as the defender, what options the attacker might have. We can make some inferences based on the actions each side is taking. So my main concern is when a heat engager is hit, you're stuck there guessing while they run at you. Let's see what happens when Kazuya does his first heat engager. All right, heat engager hits. He runs in. You can see Jin is still recovering, right? I'm going frame by frame. So Jin is still in the stun animation, and here comes the sweep. That looks like probably his heat smash, his rage drive, so to speak. Now, the interesting thing is rage drives in this game don't seem to be giving combos, right? So even though it looks like an unseeable low that knocks you down, it's not giving a combo. So we have at least that. But this kind of plays into the, oh, it's a canned mix-up, there's not a lot we can do, right? But let's check out the next clip. So Kazuya does his backswing blow here. Turns out that's a heat engager. He runs in, and Jin mashes. Jin mashes a forward 4. Now Kazuya parries it, and that parry wall splats, which is a little alarming, but that's beside the point. Notice that the button that Jin mashes is actually a decently slow button. The button that Jin mashes is forward 4. So based on what we were looking at before, it looked like the disadvantage was so serious, there was no reason to ever press a button. You just had to guess mid or low. But in this case, he mashed a pretty slow move. Now, we can debate the ethics and the morals of Kazuya having Devil Jin's old parry and now it wall splats. But we've just added a new layer to the mind game, is that sometimes you can hit a button. Now, what does that mean? Why would you hit a button against the unseeable low? Well, my guess here is this low coming out is either unsafe, right? Unsafe on block, or low parryable. You might be wondering, why wouldn't it be low parryable? Well, in Tekken 7, in some situations where you have too much frame disadvantage, you actually can't low parry. A good example is after Zafina Rage Drive, down back 3 is unlow parryable. Same with Steve, back 1-2, once you're spinning, if he decides to do a down 2 there, you can't low parry it. So the only reason I can think that Jin would mash in that kind of situation is that there are sufficient reasons that Kazuya wouldn't want to play the mix-up on immediate timing. Either the mid option after the heat engager is extremely disadvantageous. So, for example, either unsafe or it puts him at like -9, so he loses his offensive tempo. That would be a reason that Kazuya might try to not do the mix-up. instead choosing to play the advantage situation and baiting Jin into killing himself, which he did in the trailer. He did a forward 4 and the parry killed him. So that's kind of my read on the situation so far, is that there must be a reason he wouldn't just do the mix. To me, it's almost a weird modification of the Okuzemi system. So whereas these heat engagers might have knocked down in the past, and then the defender has to wake up and guess, now they're both standing, and the defender is making a guess from the standing position. He still has more options than if he's lying down, but clearly based on the advantage of the heat engager, he might not have all of his options like movement. So it's interesting seeing the defender for the first time try to mash out of this situation. I use the word interesting very lightly though, because that situation with Kazuya reminds me of this situation in Tekken 7. When Gigas does his rage drive and he charges back 2 all the way, you can't duck the unblockable after. But if you try to challenge him, he has his immediate timing options out of the rage drive, so you'll just get hit. So the mind game is he going to press something right away, and do I just guess that? Or is he going to delay the option and hit me later, so I have to try to challenge him? To me, that looks like the situation Kazuya has with his heat smash a lot. Here, if Gigas goes for the high, he did the mid, my bad. Here, if Gigas goes for the high, you can duck it and launch him. So I assume that Kazuya's is also like that. You can probably duck and low parry or launch the heat smash. The problem is, there's the delayed option. So if I'm ducking and I suddenly stand up, now I'm eating this situation. So as soon as this dude turns blue, I have to decide if I want to duck, stand guard, interrupt, and the situation is definitely not in my favor. And the annoying part is I can't even move out of it. Oh, and the annoying part is I can't even move out of the immediate timing options. I can only move if he decides to delay. But if he decides to do any of the instant options, I'm stuck. That's just because he decided to run at me. That's probably my only gripe so far, but in the spirit of being positive, we did have the sidestep moment, okay? We have the wall extender, where because we're not using screw anymore, it looks like you can continue to extend your combo at the wall. And if you remember from the mechanics reveal, I did a 3-minute breakdown that you can see up here, they showed that the damages are pretty low, especially when you're getting comboed. So even though there are these nasty mix-ups, wall combo extensions, heat smashes, you know, so many things that can just kill you and so many ways to guess wrong, you have a bigger life bar to work with. A big problem with Tekken 7 is even if you were in a matchup where it didn't have these canned mix-up situations, you were still afraid to die because one counter hit launch turned into wall, turned into guess, turned into death, right? But the damages in this new game look so much lower. So it looks like you'll have many more chances to guess, many more chances to get data. And because the game systems are pushing us towards a high interactivity, you gotta hit buttons, you gotta get in there, you gotta be right or wrong, it might actually be a good thing. It might actually be okay. Tekken 5 and 6 had huge poke damage, but because every character had a lot of options, it was still fine. You still had to get there and interact. If you sat still and ate a low, it wasn't something you could just brush off like in 7 while you wait for your counter hit launcher. Every hit more or less mattered, so you had to make a choice. In this game, it's not so much that every hit necessarily matters, but the game is incentivizing you to go in and hit them. But you have the life bar to play with it and to understand what your opponent's trying to do. I think that's really sick. I think that this could be a really good evolution away from the Tekken 7 system. It could make first to twos feel a lot less volatile. You might get a lot more skill expression, even though there are these really nasty situations. The last thing that was a big pet peeve for me is how lame so many of the rage arts were in Tekken 7. A lot of people are complaining that this rage art looks a little long, but you can't deny how sick that is. So I'm really hyped for the visual parts of Tekken 8. They continue to impress every single time I look at them. Hopefully that gives you some insights on what we're concerned about as competitors, and so far it's looking okay. I think the large life bars, the low combo damage kind of soothe a lot of my concerns about the gameplay. I don't feel like it's going to be like Gigas where I'm guessing for my life and then I will just die. I think that there's going to be some nasty situations, but there's also going to be a lot of HP to play with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more analysis, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.